Hey Colt fans, Justin Baldini, Director of Marketing for Colt here. What we're going to do this week is we're actually going to walk through how to fix a couple minor scratches on your stainless Colt firearm. This is going to be a cool one for you. Take a look. Okay, so for scratches on the brushed side, the flat surface of the slide, what we're going to do is actually we're just going to use a maroon Scotch-Brite pad. I'm going to give you a couple tips to use as you go through this. Number one is always follow the direction of the lines that are in the brushed stainless finish. So you can actually see horizontal lines that are pretty flat here. You don't ever want to come across the finish like this. You always want to go with it, this direction. Number two, always in one direction. If you get onto this brushed finish and you start going back and forth, or you start trying to cheat and go both directions, what you're going to find is you're going to either create small circles or fish hooks where the end of each line is. So it'll really screw up your finish. Number three is use moderate pressure. This is again a maroon Scotch-Brite pad. It's a very fine pad. You're going to have to kind of push down on it just a little bit. Start with a little less than you think you need, but what you're going to find is to remove a scratch like this, you're going to need moderate pressure. Number four, stay away from the sandblasted area. If you're trying to fix a scratch that's right along this hard line where it's sandblasted up here and brushed down here, you're going to have a real hard time. If you run into that sandblasted area, you're actually going to polish out the edge of the sandblasting. So stay away from that sandblasted area unless you've got a scratch right on the edge, and then all I can tell you is be very careful. And last but not least, you might need to expand the area around the scratch. Like this scratch in particular, I'm going to probably brush to about here and to about here. You're going to need to expand the area of the scratch depending on the size and of course the coarseness of the 3M pad that you're using. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this flat. I'm going to start smoothing it out one direction only. I'm going to keep this pad away from the sandblasted area, and what you'll see is we're going to actually be able to take this scratch right out. Actually, that about did it. I'm going to hit this with some oil real quick. To clean it up. Oh yeah, that is completely gone. There you go. Okay, for scratches that are on the sandblasted finish, these are a little bit tougher. Only in the sense of it's the finish has a real texture to it. So sort of the trick is you're trying to match that finish. You're trying to match that texture. And of course, if you don't have a sandblasting cabinet and you don't want to tape the thing off and go and sandblast the whole top, well, how do you do that? Well, here's how you do it. This is 80 grit sandpaper. No, I'm not going to just try and take the sandpaper and sand it out. That would be a disaster. But what I will do is I'll actually lay the piece of sandpaper over the scratch and I'll tap it with this hammer. The only thing I can tell you is be very patient in this process. You don't want to move the sandpaper while you're tapping it. It's going to take you quite a bit of time in order to do this because you don't want to go fast. You don't want to really hit the sandpaper hard. But what you'll find is you can actually tap out this scratch using this piece of sandpaper. You can see on the sandpaper, I'm going to destroy the little area on the sandpaper that I'm tapping on. So you're going to want to move it around between hitting it. But do not move it while you're hitting it or you will create more scratches. That actually looks like about it, so I'm just going to hit that with some oil. We'll see how that looks. There you go. So there you have it, Colt fans. That's how you fix some scratches on your stainless Colt firearm. Make sure you leave us some comments below so we've got some more topics to talk about on next week's Topic Tuesday.